Hi, friends. Happy full moon, the flower moon. This is our full moon in May. I am Chris. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to take a moment and let everyone gather and find our props and get settled in for our evening practice. Welcome. If you're just coming, let me know that you're here. Leave a comment, leave a wave. I think if you're on Facebook, you have to give them permission. I'm not sure about YouTube. I think those just pop up. So as you join me, let me know you're here. Leave a comment, leave a wave, say hello. I'm glad that you are all joining me on this Friday evening on this full moon in Scorpio. We're actually already in the full moon, so cool, right? We've already felt it. Maybe you're already feeling it. I know I am. It's been coming for a while. Welcome, my friends. I see some people are starting to join us. I'm glad you're here. Leave a comment. Let me know that you are here ready to practice. And as we settle in, I want to have you gather your props. Let's take this time now and gather our props. You'll want to have a blanket or two. You'll want to have, if you have a bolster, fantastic. Pillows will be great. Blocks, if you have them. If you don't have blocks, books work really well. Water bottles work really well. So go ahead and gather things now. I have behind me a blanket and 2 blocks. For myself, I have a couple more blankets that I can pull in as I need them. And in a minute, we'll just start to talk a little bit about what's going on in this full moon. It's a big one. There's a lunar eclipse with it as well. But we'll wait just another minute as we gather our props, and then we'll get started. If you are interested in practicing new moon yoga with me, I am now offering a new pass that includes exclusive new moon practices, both live and in person. And if you're in the middle Michigan, mid-Michigan area, that's where I'm located, you can come and join me in person for those new moon practices. You can find information on my website. You can find information on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, the Awakened Yoga Collective. So feel free to check that out. And I would love to have you join me for that exclusive practice to people that are subscribing to my yoga for the new moon, monthly new moons. So that would mean you get full moon and new moon practices twice a month. It's a nice balance. These full moon practices are practices that we release and we let go. And the new moon practices are traditionally the practices that we set intention and we manifest and intend. So welcome. If you are just joining, my name is Chris Batzner, and I am the creator and curator of the Awakened Yoga Collective. I am the founder and guide of Central Michigan Kundalini, and I am the director of Kula Yoga Outreach, which is a donation-based organization in Central Michigan. So I'm so glad you're here. Yes, I'm so glad you are able to practice tonight. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so glad you're here this evening, and we are ready to jump into this magic that is the full moon. So I want to take a few moments and talk about the full moon first, about what we're experiencing, what this full moon is offering us, and then talk a little bit about what to expect for the practice. I'm going to try and not talk a lot because I want to get us on our mat and moving our bodies to really get into it. So this full moon is a full moon in Scorpio. And the full moon actually happened at 1:34 this afternoon for Eastern time, for those of us on the East Coast. And the lunar eclipse actually happened before that, even at 10:11 a.m., so 10 in the morning. So with that, we're in that big energy of that full moon and the lunar eclipse right now, but we are also starting to fall past that crest. So the full moon energy is a couple of days on either side. And so we are at the peak of it and just a little bit past. So with this Scorpio full moon, this is all about heightened emotions, extremities, extremes, polarities. We also have Mercury in retrograde, which adds to the fun. And so basically this full moon is an opportunity to notice the releases, and quite honestly, it is as intense as death and rebirth. And I think an example I used today was a phoenix rising from the ashes. This is a full moon that brings to the forefront all of the things that are ending, that need to end, that are done. And a lot of this can be super strong and super intense and often unexpected. And so with this moon is intense. And then the lunar eclipse that pairs with this moon brings in the subconscious, the unconscious. And so we are really dealing with shadow work here. This is a time where our shadow is being put right in front of us, and we are required to embrace that shadow and to acknowledge that shadow and to allow that shadow work and that shadow part of us to become part of who we are. Often with that shadow work, we want to shy away from it. We want to look away from it. And right now, this energy is asking us to, nope, here it is, acknowledge it, embrace it, understand that it is part of us. So often sudden changes come with this, unexpected sudden changes, trying to figure out, what does it all mean? Why? Answering the big question, why? What does it mean? What's going on? What am I meant to do here? Really, this moon can bring up just about anything. It is super polarizing. It is super extreme. And it is all about our deepest truth, and that deepest, darkest truth, which can be super scary, super intense. So breath is key here, and really noticing what is being brought to completion, what is ending for us, and that understanding of that things need to end, they have to end for new things to be born. Right? I am in a major transition myself of completion, closure, of endings, not necessarily endings that I was expecting or wanting, but those endings have to happen so that the new can be born, so that there is space for that creation. So tonight, as we practice, just notice what comes up. We will do a lot of big breath. We will be in our body, in our heart, in our hips, and it will be a practice that will allow us to release, to let that go and just get rid of it all, create space for the things that are being birthed in our experience, in our life, in our world. And this is necessary. All of this work that we're doing is necessary so that we can evolve on a soul level, which is exactly what the universe is asking us for right now. So let's take a deep breath. There will be a lot of deep breaths in our practice tonight. And in our practice, you will want to make sure you have a blanket, a couple of blocks, pillows, if you have those at home, water bottle, books work for blocks as well. Find any type of supports that you need. We're going to use them a little bit tonight. And then maybe turn the lights down, maybe make sure you're in kind of a quiet place, roll out your mat, a place where you can't be distracted and disturbed. I know it's easy when we're at home that, the things are happening. People are at the door, kids are playing, TV's on, dinner's cooking, all of those things. Try and find yourself a nice, comfortable place that you can really move inwards. We will be doing some breathing with our practice, and we will be doing some moving. I'm looking at my notes here. Really, the biggest breath that we will use in the middle of our practice is lion's breath. This is a beautiful releasing practice. And I don't know if we've done this before in these practices, but I often teach it. This is the breath that we use an open mouth and we stick out our tongue as we exhale. And so we'll have an opportunity to do that in our practice. We also can find our drishti with that. So we can bring our gaze to our third eye, that center of the eyebrow center, which is that intuition, that understanding that we are connected to the universe, that the universe is within us. And that's what this moon is about, is understanding that we have to release to go deeper, to go higher, to evolve. And so our drishti can come to our third eye, or we can bring it to the tip of our nose. If we want to be more grounded, we can bring our gaze to the tip of our nose as we exhale. So lion's breath is simply that, figuring out where we want our gaze to go. Take a big breath in, and as we exhale, open our mouth, move our gaze. We can also close our eyes. So that'll be lion's breath. I'll remind us as we get into the practice. The other thing I want to show you before we begin is Kaleshvara mudra. And this is a beautiful mudra. I am actually deep in my 40-day sadhana right now with our people that are doing sadhana with me. And we began with Bij mudra, which is a seed mudra. And my mudra has evolved into Kaleshvara. And as I was building this practice tonight, I thought, of course, this was the mudra that we need for this full moon. So of course, that's where my hands go. Kaleshvara mudra, I'm going to kind of show you sideways, is we want to interlace our fingers this way. So our fingers are in each other, I guess. And then we take the middle finger to the sky. Good. If this feels uncomfortable, the other thing you can do, I personally don't like this as well because it's hard to hold, is see my knuckles just rest against each other. They can sit this way or they can interlace. I kind of like them interlaced. And then we bring our thumbs together like that. So let me do that again for you. Fingers interlace, middle finger points to the sky, and the thumbs touch. If you can see, there it is. There's a little heart shape. I don't know if you can see it with my hands the way they are. Look at your hands. There's a little bit of a heart. There it is. You can kind of see it. So this is that fearless heart mudra. This is that, and this intuition mudra. So this really connects to our intuition. It connects us to the universe, to the higher, to the greater. It clears and calms the mind so that we can take control of and manage our thoughts and our emotions, which right now is what we need to do. We have big, giant emotions right now. So this mudra will help us kind of center, help us focus, and help us acknowledge those emotions. So welcome, friends. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Julie, I'm glad you're here. You came just in time. We are going to move to our mat. I'm going to take my list with me and move back. Make sure that you have props, blankets, blocks, pillows, books, whatever you need, bolsters if you have them, to feel comfortable. We will be using them. So let's go ahead and move to our mat. And as we do so, I want us to actually start on our back. So I will take a blanket and roll it up. I'm going to make a nice big tube and put it on my mat so that my spine can lay on the blanket. So we'll begin in a reclining pose. And I have an inch or two between my blanket and my hips. And then I take my blocks, pillows if you have them at home, and bring the knees wide. Hello, friends. I'm glad you're here. Bring your knees wide as we lay back. So make sure that the lower back feels supported. Make sure that our head and neck feel supported. Sometimes I like to tuck another blanket under my head. And then these blocks are just here to support the knees. Pillows work really great too. This is going to be where we begin our practice. Maybe we soften our gaze or we close our eyes and we just start to feel our body. One hand comes to our heart. The other hand comes to our belly. In Kundalini, we believe we have three brains. We know we have three brains. We have a head brain, we have a heart brain, and we have a gut brain. And often our head brain leads the way. And that is the analyzer, the categorizer, the criticizer, the judger, the black and white, the concrete thinker. The heart is our truth. It's our connection to each other and the universe. And it often is very quiet. If we listen, it's there and it guides us. It's our true north. And then our gut is that intuition, that knowing in our bones. And so we take our breath into our heart and our gut brain a bit more than our head. so that we can activate those energy centers, those heart centers of truth and intuition. Release the judgment. And we'll just take a few minutes here, a few moments of slow, steady breath. Letting the body regulate, finding the breath, feeling the body. Noticing what you're aware of. A lot of this practice today is awareness of separating our existence from our emotions, of realizing that we are not our emotions. Our emotions are our truth, so they are a big part of who we are. They show us who we are, but we are more than our reactions and our emotions. And when we become more of an observer, we have different perspective. And we can see more clearly what is releasing, what needs to be released, what needs to be completed, what is done, what we are done with. Just another breath. And then release the hands. Bring the knees together. Move the blocks out of the way, or pillows or whatever you were using. Arms come wide, feet come wide with the knees bent, and just rock the knees side to side. Very gently here. We don't want to jar the back. We don't want to twist the hips too much. Just put a little bit of movement in. If it feels comfortable and safe, we can move the head in the opposite direction. So when my knees go right, my head looks left. And the other way. Back and forth. One or two more times. Making sure we are even when we find ourselves complete. And we'll gently make our way to hands and knees, all the way over to all fours. Taking as much time in that transition as we need. And we'll walk our hands just a little bit in front of our shoulders. Knees are underneath our hips. Belly pulls in, and I want us to start to make circles with our body. Let this be fluid. And follow the breath. Inhaling as we circle forward. Exhaling as we circle back. Really let this become almost sensual. The hips are involved, the head and shoulders are involved, as if we're dancing on the floor. One more time in this direction. And then we go the opposite way. Keep this fluid, flowy, watery movement in our body. Scorpio is a water sign, so we want to call in that water, that energy of fluidity, of shape-shifting, of coolness. One or two more times around, really enjoying this movement, finding a way to make this feel good in your body. And then we come back to all fours. Draw the belly in and keep the hips stacked over the knees as we walk our arms forward, coming into puppy pose. So forearms can come to the earth and our heart melts. Or maybe we bring our forehead to the earth, maybe even our chin. Flare the sit bones towards the sky. Roll the tailbone open. Let the heart melt. We breathe into this puppy pose for a moment. This gets us into that back of the heart, which is kind of the space that we're working in, the energy that we're working in. The back of our heart is that deepest, darkest secrets, the truth, the deep, darkest truth of us that we often don't let anyone see, that we often don't even shine light on ourselves. We don't want to look at ourselves. And so as we take our breath into those areas, we start to create space. We create movement. And that's what we're doing right here. Good. Inhale, come back up to all fours. Take a moment here and feel the body. When you're ready, we'll tuck our toes and lift our hips to downward facing dog. Move around in this downward dog, really stretching out, leaning back, feeling the length of the body here. And as we inhale, we roll forward to our plank. Exhale to the earth. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. We can flow through a child's pose. This is an option. We can always rest in down dog. We can always rest in child's pose or go back to those circles with our body. One more time, roll forward to our plank. Exhale to the earth. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Let's take our right foot forward between our hands. Plant the back heel and we'll open to warrior two. So front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Our toes are pointing towards the long side of the mat in that back foot. And we're in heel to heel alignment. Arms are open at shoulder height and our gaze is fiercely over that front hand. Shoulders stay out of our ears. Find the breath. Good. Inhale here. As we exhale, hands come inside the front foot. So I like to turn my toes in just slightly on my back foot. We can grab blocks under our hands. Good. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Heart comes forward. Let the hips draw behind, away from the head. And then I will walk my hands and that block forward towards that diagonal corner of the mat. So I'm leaning into this warrior two legs, almost like a down dog upper body. Let the hips grow heavy. Let the arms reach diagonally away and find the breath. Good. Inhale, walk the hands back to the feet. Lift the back heel. We're going to turn towards that long edge of the mat. Left hand stays on the mat or on a block. Right arm lifts to the sky. So we're twisting to the right. Scissor the inner thighs together. Back knee can always come to the earth if we want more support. Maybe this top hand that's reaching to the sky wraps around to take a bind. No matter where we are, roll the heart open. Breathe. Beautiful. Inhale, arm reaches. Exhale, hands come to the mat and we make our way back to downward dog. Inhale again, rolling forward to that plank. Exhaling to the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Let's do one more of these. Inhale, forward to our plank. Exhale to the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Child's pose is a fantastic option if you need a rest or want to rest. When we're ready, our left foot will come forward between our hands, back heel plants, arms open to warrior two. I flipped myself so I could still see you. Gaze is fiercely over that front hand, heel to heel alignment. Front knee is bent, which is now our left one. Keep breathing here. That breath is the key this time around. Well, it always is, but even more so this month. Exhale, hands come inside that front foot. Maybe we have a block. Turn that back heel out a little bit or the toes in. Sink the hips as we walk our hands diagonally towards that front corner of the mat or past it, melting into that downward dog upper body, warrior two lower body. Maybe I'll call this warrior dog. I'm sure there's a name for it already. Hips pull away from the hands. Breath continues to move. Inhale, half lift, rise up. Walk yourself to face the front of the mat as the back heel lifts. Right hand stays on the ground or a block as our left arm lifts to twist. Scissor the inner thighs together, zip everything to midline. Option to wrap that top hand around for a bind. Roll the heart open. Breathe wherever you are. Inhale that arm to the sky. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step, you got it, to downward dog. Rolling forward to our plank. Exhaling to the earth. Tops of our feet turn. This time we will get to find our lion's breath as we're in cobra. So hands come underneath our shoulders. Inhale, head and shoulders lift. Pause in cobra. Exhale, lion's breath. Tongue open, eyes, gaze wherever we want it to. Inhale. Exhale, release to the earth. We're going to do that 3 times. That was 1. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Nice. 1 more of these beauties. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Very gently press up and over to child's pose. Knees spread wide. Hips come back towards the heels. Forehead towards the earth. Find your breath. Feel your body. Whew. What are you aware of in this moment? What is asking to be released? What are we literally throwing into the fire right now and this month? What are we ready to burn up so that that new growth can come from those ashes? Those ashes from the fire are so nutrient rich. We cleanse the earth and the new growth is so strong because of it. What are we ready to throw into the fire? When we're ready, tuck our toes, lift our hips, downward facing dog. Leaning back into it, moving around as we'd like. And we'll take our right foot forward between our hands, plant the back heel again, rising to warrior two. Right knee is bent, right hand is forward, shoulders are out of the ears. Our gaze is over that front hand, and if we would like to find Agni Mudra, which I didn't tell you about, it's literally thumbs up, 7 up, fist, thumb up. That's Agni Mudra. Agni is fire, that transformative fire. Agni Mudra, we look at the tip of our thumb. As we inhale, straighten the leg, draw in intent. As we exhale, reach forward as we bend the knee. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And maybe we start to do this faster. Have that fierce intensity. Gaze is over the tip of the thumb at the future that we are calling in. One more. Inhale back to warrior two. Breathe here for a moment. And then straighten the front leg. Arms come overhead. Toes come in line with the heels, pointing towards the side of the mat. Interlace the fingers with the pointer fingers to the sky. Heels come in just slightly. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, soften the knees and chop. Open mouth. Inhale. Inhale. 2 more. Let it out. 1 more. Inhale. Hands come to the heart. Exhale. Beautiful work right there. Good. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, fold. Take a moment in your favorite version of a forward fold. Maybe we grab opposite elbows. Maybe we simply make a rainbow around our feet. Maybe we hug our legs in. Let the breath even out. Let the upper body get heavy. And then we'll bring our big toes together. Ankles want to be out a little bit. I moved so you could see a little bit more of me. And as we exhale, bend our knees. Come onto our tiptoes, settling into a squat. So this may be where you want to grab a block or 2 under your hands. Maybe blankets come under the heels. We want our heels to stay lifted. We don't want to put them on the ground. Good. From here, draw the belly up and in. Spread the knees nice and wide. And then hands come between the legs as we melt over our own lap. Head drops towards the front, towards the floor, but our heels and hips fall towards the other side. So that's our counterbalance. If we just drop our head, we're going to roll, which might be fun. If you want to stay in one place, we want to find the heaviness of the hips to counteract the heaviness of the head. Gaze is on the toes. This is called garland pose. We are draping our body over our own lap. I love it. Breath goes into the back. Lift our head, hands come to the earth, and we straighten those legs. Move around for a moment. Shake out our head and neck. And when we're ready, we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. Stepping, hopping, dancing, who knows? Once we get to downward dog, we'll inhale, roll forward to our plank. Exhale to the earth. Another lion's breath in our cobra. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open mouth. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Just the one. Press up to downward facing dog. From downward dog, we'll bring our left foot forward between our hands, plant the back heel, and again, we open to warrior two on the other side. So our left knee is bent. Gaze is over that left hand. Maybe we have that Agni Mudra, again, that thumb as our gaze. Good. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend. Reach forward into that future. Inhale, come back to present. Exhale, reach to the future. Inhale. One more like this. And now maybe we go a little faster. Letting those pulses really release and guide. Push it away, push it out. Getting us momentum to the future, revving our engine. Good. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms reach overhead, toes turn side, pointer fingers to the sky. Inhale again. Exhale, chop it out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Two more. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Woo. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Great work, my friends. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Find a long spine. Press through the backs of the legs. Exhale, fold deep. Again, take a moment in your favorite version of a forward fold. Finding the breath, letting the body regulate again. And then we'll move into traditional yogic squat. So feet come a little bit wider than hip distance, heels in, toes out. I like to take a block to sit on. It's absolutely delightful. Heels can be on a blanket, or we can just find a yogic squat on our own. So you decide what version feels right for you. Maybe you have a different way of doing it altogether. Fantastic. Press the palms together. Press the arms and legs into each other. Hips are heavy. Heart is lifted. Maybe we close our eyes and breathe right here. Just another breath or two. And then release the hands, straighten the legs, move back into that forward fold one more time. Move around to release the legs. And we'll gently make our way to seated, finding an easy seated pose. Yes, okay, so we're gonna move into, I won't lie, not my favorite pose, fire log pose. And it's called fire log pose for a reason. Many of us will feel the fire in this, but it gets us deeply into our hips. And I think it's a good place for us to be right now. So the first thing we want to do is draw the right leg. Let me do my right leg for you. In, and we want to not have it be too wide. So my knee is just a little bit wider than my hip. It's kind of in line. This may be enough. We can simply come to that pigeon. One leg is crossed with the other one straight. That's a great option. If we want to go a little deeper, the other leg, which is my left one, and I bring my ankle to the outside of my knee and slide it back so that I can bring my knee and my ankle to stack, and my ankle and my knee to stack. Yes, flex the feet. Make sure that they are engaged to protect the joints. And then this is where, like, I just stack a blanket in there. Maybe we have a blanket and a block. If this is intense and too intense, again, just choose that single leg stretch, okay? If you find a place that you are comfortable, we want to make sure that our shins are actually stacked on top of each other, like even with each other. We often come into either a lotus or an easy seated pose, a sukhasana, and that's not what we're doing here. We want our shins parallel with each other. Maybe we soften the gaze and close the eyes. Maybe take a little forward fold. Breathing into that fire. Spine is long, shoulders are soft, jaw is soft. Maybe we exhale through the mouth. Let the exhales become longer than the inhales. Just another moment here. Inhale, rise back up. Gently uncross the legs. Let's take them straight for a moment. Shake it out. Move around. Nice work, my friends. We have another side. So now maybe we just simply put that left foot on top of the right leg. Take that figure four. Maybe that is just plenty. Or we bend that left knee, bringing that knee somewhat in line with the hip. It's not wide. And then we take that left ankle on top and slide it back as we let that knee fall open. Flex the feet. Support the legs. Let them be where they need to be. We don't want to force ourselves into this. We just stay upright. Spine is long. Breath is flowing. Or maybe we fold a little forward. No matter where we are, we want those exhales to become longer than the inhales. Our gaze can soften or our eyes can close. And we let our breath release. One more breath right here. Through the fire. Inhale, rise back up. Uncross the legs. Take them straight. Shake them out. Whoo, all right. And we'll move on to our back again. I would love for us to have a blanket nearby, rolled up, to use for our spine in a moment. We're not going to start there. We're going to begin flat on our back. So lean on down. Bend the knees. Arms come open to the side in a T. And we'll cross the right leg on top of the left, connecting the inner thighs. So that right foot just kind of dangles off. We're not in a figure four. Hips lift and move a little bit to the right on the right side of the mat. And then we exhale and let the legs fall to the left. So we're twisting to the left. Check in with the shoulders, make sure they stay on the earth. Support those legs however we need to. Maybe we take a block under there or a blanket, who knows. And gaze can look to the right. If this doesn't feel good to you, find a place that does. This is your practice. I am merely here for suggestions. And if this is not your cup of tea, then please do something different that feels good to your body. Let the breath remain long and slow. And notice what parts of our body are working. See if we can soften those parts. Melt into this twist just a little bit more. Release the resistance, which is a lot of what this full moon is. Releasing the resistance, being shown exactly where that resistance is, and releasing. Draw the belly to the spine, gently come back to center, bring the hips in line with the body and uncross the legs. Take the feet wide, rock the knees side to side. And we'll move to the other side. So walk those feet back in. Cross the left leg on top of the right, connecting the inner thighs so that left foot just dangles. Hips slide to the left side of the mat, and we twist to the right. Arms stay open to the side in a T, and our gaze can look to the left. Find the breath first. Notice what's in your awareness. Acknowledge it without attachment, without judgment. Just let it exist. Just a few more breaths. Gently bring the legs back to center. Slide the hips in line with the body. Uncross the legs. Take the feet wide and just rock the knees side to side. Now we get to draw that blanket back underneath us. So we take that rolled up blanket back underneath our spine like we began at the beginning. Grab our blocks for our legs or pillows, whatever we have to support it. And we'll lay back on the bolster or the blanket like we did at the beginning. This time we get to find that Kalashvara movement. So if you joined after my explanation of it, we take our fingers and interlace them inwards. From here, our middle finger extends and connects, and our thumbs connect and point downward. So we have a little heart in our hands. And as we move back onto the blanket with the soles of our feet together, knees supported, that mudra rests on our belly or in our sacral chakra area or our lower belly, below the navel. And so that connected to the universe, that knowing beyond ourselves is called in, is tapped into our intuition. And our eyes can simply close. Our gaze can soften if that feels better to us. And in this place, I want us to stay present as we let the exhales become longer than inhales. And so this is a conscious effort. The inhales remain the same. Maybe they're a count of 4. And then the exhales begin to be a count of 5. Taking a couple of cycles there. And then our exhales take a count of 6. And we slowly and gently lengthen the exhale until it's twice as long as the inhale. And maybe you get there and maybe you don't, and that's okay. We'll stay in this place for a minute or two, focusing on the breath, calling in the energy of that Kalashvara mudra to clear the mind, to clear the emotions, to see clearly our connection to the universe and our direction, our truth, our karma, our dharma. Option to remain in this place for Shavasana. To hold on to the mudra, to remain supported with this heart opening, hip opening position. Or with as little effort as necessary, rolling off of our props. onto our back for a more traditional Shavasana. Finding a place of support, a place of release. And no matter where we are, we simply let the breath float away. Let our awareness diffuse. And we call in the depth of our practice, Shavasana. Begin to deepen the breath. Bring awareness slowly and gently back to your body on this earth, in this moment. Feel the practice in your body, and in this moment of stillness, call in an intention, a direction. Listen to your heartbeat, to your truth, and let it guide you forward. And as you're ready, gently put movement in, starting small fingers and toes, maybe moving the head side to side. Gradually moving more and more of our body in any way that feels good. And when we're ready, we'll take a full body stretch. Then roll to our side, hugging our knees into our chest, curling up into a little ball. Gently helping ourselves to a comfortable seated position. Eyes remain closed. Focus is inwards. Palms pressed together in front of our heart. Lift our heart to meet our hands. Take a breath in and out. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within guide your way on. Happy full moon, happy manifesting. Sat Nam, namaste. Thank you, my friends. Take some time, journal, go walk outside, drink some water, rest, dream, and I will see you very soon, probably for the new moon. Take care, everyone.